Welcome to Cruise Ship Safety and Security. In this, our third episode, we discuss piracy and maritime terrorism and its impact on cruise ship security. In the early days of cruising, the experience had a special charm that felt warm and nostalgic, but it was also quite simple compared to today's standards. The ships back then were built with a focus on comfort and adventure instead of the fancy amenities we see now. People set out on their sea journeys filled with excitement and a spirit of discovery, but they traveled in a time when security measures were much less advanced than what we have today. The open ocean has often been portrayed as a beautiful and exciting place in books and movies, drawing many people to its charm. However, there are real dangers that come with being out at sea. The ocean can be unpredictable, with sudden storms and the threat of pirates adding to the risks. Both passengers and crew faced many challenges, making it necessary for them to be brave and strong in tough situations. Because of this, early sea journeys were not just about enjoying the ride, but also about dealing with the many dangers that the sea presented. Piracy has always been a major threat throughout history, greatly influencing how people travel and trade by sea. In the past, especially before powerful navies were created and communication improved, both cargo ships and recreational boats were easy targets for pirates who roamed the dangerous and unregulated ocean waters. These pirates, unlike the heroic characters we often see in movies or books, were usually brutal criminals, focused only on making money. They carefully planned their attacks, choosing to target ships that were carrying valuable goods or were not well protected. Often, they took advantage of remote shipping routes or ports that were easy to invade. Their reasons for attacking went beyond just stealing. They were known to use violence and intimidation, creating a lasting sense of fear among people who worked at sea. Piracy was not just about stealing valuable goods. It often involved extreme violence and cruelty. Ships became battlegrounds where crew members and passengers faced the terrifying risk of being taken hostage, mistreated, or even killed. The fear of these violent encounters weighed heavily on those who traveled by sea, shaping how countries developed their naval strategies and security measures to protect their interests on the ocean. Because of this, the history of sea travel is closely linked to the ongoing fight against piracy, a challenge that still affects maritime safety today. Picture a grand passenger ship from the 1800s, filled with luxurious rooms, beautiful decorations, and sparkling chandeliers. The atmosphere is lively, filled with the cheerful chatter of well-dressed travelers and the sound of crystal champagne glasses clinking together. But suddenly, this elegant scene is turned upside down when a group of rough, armed pirates burst onto the ship, turning it into a chaotic battlefield. The shock and fear of such an encounter would be unimaginable for today's cruise passengers, who are used to sailing in a safe and secure environment. Accounts from travel diaries, ship records, and personal stories paint a vivid picture of life at sea during a troubled time. These stories of hijackings reveal frightening experiences where terrified passengers were taken hostage and faced the risk of violence as their families desperately tried to gather huge sums of money for their release. The well-known stories of people captured by pirates highlight the feelings of hopelessness many faced, suffering not just financial loss, but also lasting emotional pain that affected them long after they were freed. These attacks were not just one-time events. They were a serious and ongoing threat that made maritime travel dangerous. In response to this growing danger, shipping companies started to put in place basic security measures. They hired armed guards for important trips and built stronger cabins to help protect against pirates. Crews learned how to sail more carefully, always staying alert for any warning signs of piracy while navigating tricky waters. Despite efforts to improve safety, many measures fell short. Groups of pirates thrived in areas where law enforcement was weak, and there weren't enough Navy ships to protect against them, allowing them to attack with little fear of being caught. Communication was also a problem. If a ship was attacked, it was often too late for the crew to alert the authorities or get help. Ships had to rely on themselves, facing dangers at sea while being aware that help could be far away, sometimes taking hours or even days to arrive. During this risky time of sea travel, every trip carried the potential for danger, reminding everyone of the lawlessness that could strike at any moment on the ocean. The story of piracy has a really interesting history. In the beginning, pirates mostly carried out small attacks, often going after ships near the coast. But as trade on the seas grew, pirates became more daring and clever. They got faster and stronger ships, which allowed them to travel further away from land and target larger ships in more distant waters. Some areas, especially the Caribbean, the Indian Ocean, and the Strait of Malacca, became well-known hotspots for pirates, creating a sense of lawlessness and freedom from consequences. As some piracy ventures became successful, larger and more organized pirate crews formed. These groups didn't just act on impulse, they created plans for their attacks, using strategy and teamwork to pull off their operations. What they did was much more than simple acts of theft. It involved careful planning, good communication, and coordination among crew members. The rise of organized pirate groups created a serious danger for safety at sea. This situation made it clear that governments and shipping companies needed to work together more closely to address the problem. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, traditional piracy began to fade away, thanks to several significant changes in how countries managed their waters and interacted with one another. One primary reason for this decline was the rise in naval patrols. Many governments started to put more money and resources into their navies, sending warships to patrol areas known for piracy. This increase in military presence acted as a strong warning to pirates, making it harder for them to operate and leading to a reduction in their activities. Along with stronger naval forces, improvements in communication were essential in the fight against piracy. When the telegraph was introduced, followed by radio technology, it became much easier to share information about pirate activities quickly. This advancement allowed countries to work together more effectively and react swiftly to threats at sea. Additionally, international agreements and maritime laws played a big role in reducing piracy. These treaties encouraged countries to cooperate, highlighting the need to tackle piracy together to protect global trade and ensure safety on the seas. Even though efforts were made to eliminate piracy, it didn't completely go away. Instead, it changed to fit the new realities of the seas. As traditional piracy decreased in areas with more vigorous law enforcement, pirate activities began moving to places where there were fewer police and coast guard patrols, like the coastlines of less developed countries. In these regions, pirates started focusing on smaller, quicker boats that were harder to detect and catch. As boats evolved from old-fashioned sailing ships to steam-powered and later motorboats, the way pirates operated changed significantly. This new technology allowed them to move faster and be more agile, which meant they constantly had to update and improve their strategies. As new technologies emerged, pirates began using more advanced weapons, which made them stronger in fights and better at defending themselves. They started using machine guns and other modern firearms, allowing them to be more aggressive when necessary. Additionally, the introduction of faster and smaller boats enabled them to carry out quick attacks and escape before naval forces could respond. This shift meant that piracy became a more cunning and fast-moving problem, constantly finding new ways to avoid being caught and increasing their chances of successfully attacking ships at sea. In the late 20th century, a new kind of threat emerged on the water: maritime terrorism. Unlike pirates, who were mainly in it for the money, terrorists attacking ships often had political or religious motives. These attacks were designed to grab attention and instill fear, and they could involve hijacking ships, blowing up ports, or even using boats as weapons. The September 11th attacks in 2001 showed just how vulnerable places like ports and ships really are, prompting a significant push to improve safety measures in the global shipping industry. What used to seem like something only seen in movies became a frightening reality. The attack on the USS Cole in 2000 serves as a powerful reminder of the grave dangers posed by maritime terrorism. This shocking event demonstrated that even well-protected military ships can fall victim to such threats. It highlighted the urgent need for better security, improved intelligence, and a stronger response to similar attacks in the future. As a result, there was a significant increase in efforts to enhance maritime security, including more investment in new technology, better training for personnel, and greater cooperation between countries. The attack also showcased the critical connection between different types of security measures, from the physical protection of ships to sharing information with international partners. The lasting impact on the economy and the disruption of trade routes that followed the attack emphasized just how serious these situations can be. The growth of modern maritime terrorism is closely linked to advancements in technology. With the internet, it has become easier for terrorist groups to find new members, plan their attacks, and spread their messages. They can even use advanced weapons, which makes the situation even more complicated. To tackle these challenges, we need a well-rounded plan that includes updating technology, sharing information better, and reinforcing global efforts to respond to threats. Additionally, social media plays a significant role in this issue. After an attack, news and videos can spread rapidly online, often without going through traditional news outlets. This quick sharing can increase the fear and unrest caused by terrorist acts, making the effects of their actions feel even more substantial. In recent years, the cruise industry has made many changes to improve safety against threats like maritime terrorism. This includes more thorough checks for passengers and crew members to ensure everyone is safe. Advanced technology, like security cameras and systems that can recognize fingerprints, are now being used on ships. Collaboration with law enforcement has also become very important, both within the country and with international partners. Sharing information and working together has become a key part of keeping everyone safe while traveling by sea. Overall, the steps taken to secure cruise ships are all about making sure that passengers can enjoy their journeys without worry. Additionally, forming specialized teams focused on maritime security has been very effective in keeping everyone safe on board. These teams are trained to deal with different types of threats, helping to maintain peace and ensure the safety of both passengers and crew members. The history of security issues, like piracy and maritime terrorism, still influences the cruise industry today. Over the years, we've learned from past events and have moved from simple security measures to using advanced technologies to protect travelers. The cruise industry is focused on enhancing its security practices, while also ensuring that guests enjoy their time on board. This creates a careful balance between keeping people safe and allowing them the freedom to explore the seas. As new threats emerge, the industry doesn't just react to old problems, it also works hard to anticipate future risks. This proactive approach aims to create a safer experience for everyone who travels by sea. The story of cruise ship security highlights the ongoing commitment to blending the excitement of travel with the essential need for safety in our ever-changing world. The idyllic world of cruising, already subtly shifting under the weight of evolving security concerns, was irrevocably altered on September 11, 2001. The attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon sent shockwaves far beyond the immediate devastation. The seemingly impenetrable security of major American cities had been breached, shattering the illusion of invulnerability and raising profound questions about security across all sectors, including the seemingly carefree realm of leisure travel at sea. The cruise industry, previously focused on enhancing the passenger experience and maintaining a relaxed atmosphere, suddenly found itself grappling with a stark new reality. The carefree days of minimal security checks and open access were over. The immediate aftermath of 9/11 saw a dramatic increase in security alertness globally. Airports became fortresses, passenger screening procedures intensified, and the threat of terrorism became a palpable presence in everyday life. This heightened awareness inevitably extended to the maritime domain. Cruise lines, initially hesitant to implement drastic changes that might affect the passenger experience, were forced to reconsider their approach. The image of a cruise ship, once a symbol of carefree escape, now carried the weight of a potential target. The sheer size and vulnerability of these floating cities, carrying thousands of passengers and crew across international waters, made them a tempting target for those with malicious intent. The possibility of a large-scale terrorist attack at sea, mirroring the scale of the 9/11 attacks on land, became a chilling reality to contemplate. The International Maritime Organization, IMO, the global standard-setting authority for the safety, security, and environmental protection of shipping, reacted swiftly. The existing security measures, while adequate for addressing traditional maritime threats like piracy, were woefully insufficient to counter the new terrorism threat landscape. The IMO's existing International Ship and Port Facility Security, ISPS code, already in place but not yet fully implemented, was rapidly revised and its enforcement significantly strengthened. The ISPS code mandates security measures for ships and port facilities, including risk assessments, security plans, and communication protocols. The attack served as a wake-up call, prompting a global reassessment of maritime security protocols and accelerating the adoption and implementation of the ISPS code. It wasn't just about compliance, it was about survival. The changes implemented in response to 9/11 were far-reaching and transformative. Prior to 9/11, passenger screening at cruise terminals was minimal. A cursory bag check might have been conducted, but the process was significantly less stringent than the rigorous security checks now commonplace at airports. Post 9/11, this changed dramatically. Security personnel underwent intensive training, and new technologies such as metal detectors, X-ray machines, and bomb-sniffing dogs became a standard feature of the embarkation process. The aim was not just to identify weapons, but also to deter potential attackers. The visible presence of security personnel, both on board and in port facilities, served as a powerful deterrent, reassuring passengers and creating an environment of heightened awareness. Beyond the passenger screening, the security upgrades extended to the ships themselves. Closed-circuit television, CCTV systems, previously installed primarily for monitoring and crime prevention, became more sophisticated and comprehensive. Strategic placement of cameras throughout the ship provided complete coverage, enhancing the ability to detect suspicious activity and monitor the flow of passengers and crew. Access control systems were strengthened, restricting access to sensitive areas, such as engine rooms and the bridge, to authorized personnel only. Emergency response plans were reviewed and updated to handle potential terrorist attacks, with greater emphasis on evacuation procedures, hostage rescue scenarios, and collaboration with emergency services. The crew's role in maintaining security also underwent a significant transformation. Previously, crew training focused mainly on routine duties and passenger service. After 9/11, comprehensive security awareness training became mandatory. Crew members were trained to identify suspicious behavior, report security breaches, and respond effectively in emergency situations. Regular drills and simulations helped familiarize the crew with various emergency scenarios, ensuring preparedness and a coordinated response in times of crisis. The training wasn't merely a checklist, it was a critical investment in security, recognizing that the crew was the first line of defense. The lines of communication between cruise lines, port authorities, and law enforcement agencies were strengthened significantly. Information sharing and collaboration became key elements in maintaining security, allowing for a rapid response to any potential threats. The improved communication allowed for more effective coordination and intelligence gathering, ensuring a multi-layered approach to security. It was no longer enough to operate in isolation. The collective responsibility to safeguard the passengers and the ships became paramount. Joint exercises and drills involving cruise lines, port authorities, and law enforcement agencies became a standard practice, refining coordination and response capabilities. The 9/11 attacks forced a fundamental shift in how the cruise industry perceived and addressed security. The transition wasn't without its challenges. Balancing heightened security measures with the desire to preserve the enjoyable cruising experience was a delicate act. Passengers, accustomed to a relaxed environment, had to adapt to the new security protocols. However, the overwhelming majority understood and accepted the need for enhanced security, recognizing the importance of safeguarding against potential threats. The cruise industry learned that security wasn't just about technology and procedures, it was about fostering a culture of vigilance and awareness, involving everyone from the CEO to the individual passenger. The evolution of security technology also played a critical role. In the post-9/11 era, the adoption of advanced technologies accelerated dramatically. Biometric identification systems, initially used in high-security environments, became increasingly common in the cruise industry, offering a more secure and efficient method of verifying passenger identity. Improved surveillance technologies, such as advanced CCTV systems with facial recognition capabilities, provided a more sophisticated approach to threat detection and crime prevention. The use of data analytics to identify patterns and predict potential security risks emerged as a powerful tool in the ongoing fight to maintain safety at sea. The technological advancements serve not only to enhance security, but also to improve the efficiency of security operations. But technological solutions were only part of the equation. The human element remained crucial. The effectiveness of any security system ultimately depends on the training, vigilance, and collaborative spirit of those responsible for its implementation. The cruise industry invested heavily in crew training, ensuring that staff were equipped to identify and respond to a wide range of potential security threats. Regular drills and simulations kept the crew sharp and ready for action. Collaboration between cruise lines, port authorities, and law enforcement agencies was vital, sharing information and coordinating efforts to maintain a proactive approach to security. The legacy of 9/11 continues to shape the cruise industry's security landscape. The events of that day served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of terrorism and the need for constant vigilance. The industry has adapted and evolved, incorporating lessons learned into a more robust and comprehensive security framework. While the aim is to maintain a safe and secure environment, the industry is also acutely aware of the need to strike a balance between security and the passenger experience, ensuring that the enjoyment of cruising isn't sacrificed at the altar of safety. The cruise ship, once a symbol of carefree relaxation, now stands as a testament to the ever-evolving nature of security in a complex and unpredictable world. A world where the line between leisure and threat remains perilously thin. The constant vigilance, the evolving technologies, and the intricate collaborations are not just about reacting to past threats, but about proactively safeguarding the future of cruise travel, ensuring the security of thousands of passengers and crew who embark on these floating cities each year. The ghost of 9/11 still sails the seas, a silent reminder of the ongoing need for vigilance and adaptation. In our next episode, we will discuss a case study in failure. Please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.